We're back. Sorry about the holiday, but we're ready to roll. We got a lot to talk about. Super Wild Card Weekend in the books. Rico, I have a feeling, is looking at sunlight right now. We're in Gotham. Rico, how do you want to begin this puppy? Because I've got a lot that relates to Lion fans, even though the Lions didn't play. I'm getting a hardball later because I just don't want to do it.
Yeah, David and I had an interesting conversation pre-show, but yeah, we could do the hardball stuff.
All right, 4 o'clock we'll get to hardball, and then we'll tell you what's really happening versus this ridiculous narrative they're attempting to sell. Let's begin with Super Wild Card Weekend, because if I'm a Lions fan, Rico, I'm incredibly bothered that I wasn't in. You watch the Giants do the most predictable thing. We all knew the Vikings were a fraud. We all said if you played them, you'd beat them. They did. You had Seattle give the Niners a game for 2.5 quarters, and then I think the Niners realized, wait, we're way better than these guys. But you had Miami almost beat Buffalo. You had the Ravens, who should have beat the Bengals. You had the Jags overcome a 27-0 lead against the Chargers, both teams looking infinitely beatable. And you sit there as a Lions fan, and I think it's almost like FOMO. Window shopping, like looking into the store for the things you can't afford. Like it's just, I want to know if you, the Lions fan out there, if Super Wild Card Weekend bothered you more than you gave it credit for, or that you expected.
I got to think that Lions fans probably disappointed because they put
I can't get
they
enough.
played the game. You know, they played the game. Well, we would have beaten the Vikings. Well, you wouldn't have played the Vikings.
I know,
but that was the game that everybody was saying, how could you handle this? And when you saw Geno Smith with a lead with the Seahawks with the Niners at halftime,
I knew not to text you. I'll tell you that much. I knew not to bother you. But you did pull away. But no, Rico, you look at last night. Like if the Lions played the Bucs, you telling me you couldn't beat that team?
You could.
That's what I think bothers people. It should bother fans.
But the thing is, you only could look at one game. You could only look at the Seahawks-Niners games because that was the only game you were going to be playing in. You weren't going to be playing the Bucs.
Yeah, but
you didn't win enough games.
But it's an overall quality thing. Like, you're taking it too literal. Like, I get it. You're going and you're playing the Niners. But, Rico, look at the landscape, I guess is what I'm saying. If I'm a Lions fan, I go, hot damn, we could have beaten damn near everybody. And
honestly, you may have been able to beat the Cowboys because they couldn't make extra points.
I've never seen anything like it. Brett Maher missing 4 extra points in one game. 5 total. I'm like, wait, what? How?
I think the funniest thing was if you were watching the Manning cast and they had Dan Campbell on and they were talking about it and you know, Campbell was he was encouraging. He was like, you try to keep the kicker spirit up. So they go to kick the extra point. The look on Dan Campbell's face was priceless because he didn't want to look at the camera because you knew he was trying to hold back laughter, and he missed it again.
Every time he went to kick, they should have had this backing track. Honest to God. Like, was that playing in Cousins' headset when he threw a 2-yard pass on 4th and 8?
Don't know, but you were excited. But, yeah, It was like it was so bad. I think T.J. Hawkinson was like, why are you throwing the ball to me?
Right, don't throw it to me. Don't.
I'm the decoy. Yes, not to me. Throw it to 18. He gets paid a whole lot more money. Yeah.
I want to know from Lion fans, all right, don't tell me you didn't watch because you're lying. Just don't lie. You watched the playoffs this weekend, and I want to know if it bothered you more than you expected, or how much did it bother you? Because I can tell you, honestly and openly, the Lions are a lot better than most of the teams I watched.
Yeah, and you know what I think really hurts, Mike, is seeing what your Giants did. Because the Lions handled the Giants. Oh. And the Giants are still playing another week in the playoffs. If you're a Lions fan, that can't sit well with you because we destroyed them in New York, and they get rewarded. They get to play another game against the Eagles, who may or may not have their quarterback ready.
Yeah, listen. Now we'll get to that. I still look.
G-Men all the way.
No, it was fun. It was. Well, see, that's the other topic, and I didn't want to do it till 3, but maybe we mix it in. Like, Rico, what the Giants did Sunday was not this outer space accomplishment. They won a playoff game. And I don't treat it like a Super Bowl. I don't put up a banner for it. It's just the first thing I thought of was Lion fan, and I'm going, oh my God. This rather insignificant thing the Giants just did, your team's given you once in 66 seasons. That's not even, you can't comprehend it. Because this weekend we watched, like, Jacksonville won a playoff game. They were the worst team in football last year. All these teams winning games, like Rico, your team with a third-string, fourth-string QB, you won a playoff game. No one treats it like the job is done or this is unbelievable. It's fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is the Lions' one playoff win since 1957 the single greatest, and I use heavy air quotes on this, the single greatest achievement in professional sports history?
Yes, because after the Cubs won the World Series, you stepped front and center stage on the mic. The lights were the brightest on you, Detroit. Yeah, it was right up there because the Bengals ended their losing streak in the playoffs.
Right. Cowboys.
Yeah.
Go on the road, beat Tampa, but, like, ask a Cowboy fan. That's not anything. It's just a thing.
You can't put the Cowboys in there, Mike, and I'm not trying to pile on Lions. One playoff victory. Cowboys have Super Bowls.
I know. That's what's
lately
incredible.
It's been bad. Right.
That's what's incredible to me. It's like, as a fan of a football team, or David, winning a playoff game, you never take it for granted, but you don't view it as this. Like, Rico, you always make the point, and you're right. Like, it's not a very high bar. It's not.
Mm-mm.
And it's like, oh my God. Like, I had fun Saturday, and that was enjoyable. And if the season ends, it ends. And it was still a great year for Dayball and company, year one, because the Giants were pretty much dead, and they were vomit, and now they have some life to them.
Let's just make this straight, Mike. I had fun.
Oh, I know.
Sunday.
It was great. Game. But you
watching
know what I know.
Watch the Giants. Right.
You're not putting a banner. Well, when Steve Slayton dropped that ball, I was like, oh, my God, no.
No, but it should be something that everybody should do, and that's the frustrating thing about the Lions is because, this season was a microcosm of their history where you're just so close, but you just can't get over the hump. And, yeah, if I'm a Lions fan, I'm pissed because, man, once again, you saw what the Giants did, and you had to think to yourself, my goodness, we could have done that. The Giants did this.
Yep.
We destroyed the Giants. It wasn't even a game in New York. We did it in New York. You can't even say it was at Ford Field. It had to be frustrating. The only thing you could think of is next year, but nah, you were ticked off if you were a Lions fan.
And you should have beat the Vikings twice. You beat them once. Should have beat them twice.
Yeah.
You look at that game and you go, and we're not here? You look at the Niner game and you go, we couldn't do better than Seattle in this spot? I honestly, Rico, they could have hung in against everybody. They could have gone to Cincinnati and maybe beaten the Bengals. They could have, hell, if the Bills are going to give you 3 turnovers, maybe they beat the Bills too. Like, it's the first thing I thought of because we do this show together. Yes, the Giants winning was fun, but you quickly realize that the thing that you don't take it for granted, but you also don't, what's the word I'm looking for, Rico? Like, you don't put it up on a pedestal. And yet the Lions haven't even given that to these people. It's like, how is that even achievable?
Bad management throughout decades.
I know.
And yeah, you know what, Mike? It's so simplistic because it's true. And no, this isn't the Ford should sell the team argument, but it's just bad manager after bad management after bad management after bad coach after bad general manager.
But with certain organizations, you can almost fall into,
That's
trip
right.
into a playoff win.
David, what, the Texans have more playoff victories.
Everyone does.
And they tripped into a playoff win before.
I mean, the Jaguars have largely been a mismanagement disaster, evidenced by the fact they were the worst team in football last year. Doug Peterson walks in the door and in year one wins a playoff game. Think about it. It's incredible, and it's not a pile-on. Rico and I are bringing up that when you're watching your team win a playoff game, Rico's not doing a cartwheel. For you, it was probably more relief than joy.
Yes.
For me, it was you went in with house money. It was fun, and I got to watch the first playoff game with my dad since 2007. It was fun.
Mike, you're right. I was just thankful that we had the smarter Bosa on our team.
Oh,
so,
my.
Yes.
I hope that's a part of football today as well. What was Joey Bosa? Somebody's got to pull him aside. We'll get to that. 248.
I'm glad we had Nick.
Yeah, 248-539-9797. All right, Super Wildcard Weekend's in the books. You're a Lions fan. Did you walk away upset? Did you walk away, really sad? Because honestly, guys, I'm pretty sure Rico would agree. I don't think there's a team I watched this weekend that would have blown you off the field. And I got to be honest, I think you would have beaten most of them. And then, the playoff game thing is like, as a Lions fan, I don't know that you can wrap your mind around it. We've accepted it as real. But then I know Rico and we talked about it, or my dad even asked me after the game, and he goes, Michael, have they really only won one playoff game since 57? I go, yes, yes. What we just did in 3 hours, they've done once in 66 years. That's inconceivable. It sounds like the Princess Bride. Inconceivable. It's impossible. But yet it's our reality. 248-539-9797. We'll get to the... Right, thank you.